Today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going over the player career seasonal objectives and telling you how to complete them. As you can see, I've completed all of them. Now, we did a video on all of the seasonal objectives, but there has been new discovery on how you can get the Ballon d'Or winner, or why the player of the season / Ballon d'Or is not working and it's reversed, which we'll touch on more shortly. But essentially, we're going to show a way how you can win a Ballon d'Or within 5 minutes. I do want to say the transfer clubs is pretty self-explanatory. The player of the month you'll most definitely get just by playing and doing this. Maxing out a skill category essentially means when you get the skill points, you have to max out a pace or a shooting category. Very simple. Now, this is where all of the confusion is and probably why you're watching. Now, the Ballon d'Or, if you win the Ballon d'Or with your player or an already created player, and as I said, we'll show shortly how you can get it done, it does not count for this objective, but instead it ticks off the player of the season objective. Now, the player of the season objective is meant to be for when you win Premier League or La Liga player of the season. Of course, a separate award to the Ballon d'Or. Of course, when you win the Ballon d'Or, it ticks off a player of the season. And when you win the Premier League or La Liga or Bundesliga, whatever, when you win your respective leagues player of the season award, it ticks off the Ballon d'Or. So the Ballon d'Or and player of the season objectives are currently switched right now, but by reverse, you give a Ballon d'Or, council player of the season, and vice versa. Now, of course, that doesn't affect anything whatsoever. It doesn't affect how long you're going to have to play the game for, because you're still going to want to be getting player of the season and Ballon d'Or anyway. But that is simply why it's not working. It's just EA being EA. Maybe by the time you're watching, they have fixed this. Without further ado is the word I'm looking for, the phrase I'm looking for. Without further ado, let's jump into it. I'll show you guys how you can win the Ballon d'Or within 5 minutes, and then I'll also show the process, which is a little bit longer of a process than winning the Ballon d'Or, but the process of winning the player of the season in your respective league. All credits to Morsey on Twitter, fellow content creator. You may have heard of him. His YouTube links will be in the description, so credit to him for finding this. But to win the Ballon d'Or, what you want to do is play as a real player, go to women's teams, go over to Spain and Barcelona, and you want to select Graham Hansen. Now, after you select Hansen as well, before you advance, you want to make sure to put her personality tier all the way up to 7. This takes roughly 5 minutes to get done, and you will win the Ballon d'Or by simming to November 4th. Now, I do want to mention, and as I mentioned earlier, the objectives are glitched. So when you win the Ballon d'Or, it counts for player of the season, and then when you win player of the season, it counts for the Ballon d'Or. So I'll show you guys how to win player of the season, which actually gets the Ballon d'Or objectives done right after this. It's just classic EA being EA, and I've completely reversed the two. But nonetheless, after you've loaded in with Hansen with a personality tier to 7, you want to head on over to the calendar and you want to simulate to November the 4th, okay? Now, we actually simulated to November 4th and we didn't even get the Ballon d'Or animation. Like, we didn't have the animation. She didn't walk out. She didn't get the Ballon d'Or. But after we simulated, which took maybe 2 or 3 minutes, we got the Ballon d'Or. Although it didn't say we got it, we went to my career and it said player of the year. Yes, so we'll speed it up and I will see you guys when we have got the Ballon d'Or. But now that we're almost at November, you may notice at the top right, when we are with Barcelona, at this stage we're on international duty with Norway, but when we are at Barcelona, we are a reserve. So although you're a reserve, that doesn't matter whatsoever. When I saw that, I was getting worried that once I was knocked down to a reserve, there's no way that I'll win the Ballon d'Or. As you can see in the top right now, it says we're a reserve. But yeah, we got to November 4th, and I was expecting the Ballon d'Or ceremony to pop up, and as I mentioned, it did not at all. So I was like, oh, no Ballon d'Or ceremony, that's interesting. But what I did is I went on over to my pro and my career. I advanced one more day just to make sure. I was a little bit confused, wondering where it was. But although I did not get the ceremony, the cut screen, all of that stuff, I head on over, as I said, to my pro, my career, and where it says player of the year, it said yes, I did indeed get player of the year, so there's no worries at all. And as you can see circled, we head on over to this season. I'm pretty sure, as you can see, I'm going slow because this was when I was trying to figure it out, but player of the year, yes, and player of the year of course means Ballon d'Or, so we did indeed win the Ballon d'Or with Hansen. We just didn't get the cutscene for it. We head on over to the objectives just to make sure, and as I said, it is glitched. We won the Ballon d'Or, but of course that counted as player of the season instead of the Ballon d'Or because EA is stupid. So to get the Ballon d'Or winner objectives done, which you of course need to get player of the season because they're reversed, so to get the player of the season in the Premier League, I created my own pro, and you want to go over and play as Martin or play as your own pro, whatever your own created player is going to be. You want to play the team highlights as them, and the reason you want to play the team highlights as them is because you will get match objectives before going into a game, and that is another objective for you to tick off and get XP. You have to complete 10 of these match objectives, rating of at least 7, complete a pass, score a goal. Now you also need to play 5 full matches, so it is a relatively long process getting the player of the season. It took me about 30 or 40 minutes because you have to complete a full Premier League season, and to ensure that you get player of the season, you just need to be the top goal scorer, get good ratings. I did quick sim a few games, but of course when you're in the starting 11, you want to play 5 full matches. You can score 6, 7, 8, 10 goals a match because you want to be of course putting on beginner difficulty, 3 minutes a half, and as I said, you want to create your own pro so you can do the other objectives that you can't do with an already created player. For example, Hansen, of course you want to be doing the maxing out a skill category, so you want to max out your pace or shooting category with the skill points and doing all of those other player objectives whilst you're at it. But yeah, you essentially just have to play the highlights as your player. You'll get maybe 6 or 7 cutscenes every single game, and you can just of course run through the whole team as you've seen me doing the past couple minutes. So fast forward about an hour of quick simming, I think I finished a Premier League season with close to 70 goals. You know, just for casual little 70 goals. As I said, we quick sim some matches, but we made sure to play the 5 full matches to get those objectives done. We did all of the match objectives. We did all of the objectives that we wanted to get done. And as the Premier League season came to an end, so after all 38 games came to an end, we won the Premier League Player of the Season award, which of course is going to tick off the Ballon d'Or objective. Because once again, do I have to say it again? EA is stupid. And as you can see, boom, we are done. Transferred clubs at the end of the season as well. I didn't put it in the video, but at the end of the season, I transferred clubs from Arsenal to Real Madrid. So we got that one done. Player of the month, you'll just get done naturally, as I mentioned. Player of the season, of course, you get within 5 minutes for actually winning the Ballon d'Or using that tip that Morsey gave us with, of course, Hansen. And then the Ballon d'Or winner, which is actually the Premier League or player of the season in your respective league, you will get done from having to play the full 38 match season. Just get the top goal scorer in the league along with maybe, you know, do your match objectives, and you'll probably, you know, if you're going to get 50, 60 goals, you're going to be winning the Premier League Player of the Season. But yeah, hopefully this one helped you guys out. If you have questions about all of these other objectives here, which these objectives here, of course, you'll be wanting to get done whilst you're doing these ones. Of course, whilst you're playing the full season, this is exactly what I was doing and talking about. I was playing the 5 full matches, of course, getting a hat-trick, doing the match objectives, equipping a play style, and yeah, all of that good stuff. But if you have any other questions regarding these objectives, then make sure to check out my most recent video going over all of the player and manager career mode objectives. Right, it's been your boy Davis, and I'll see you guys in the next one.